Caitlin Clark might have been the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, but did you know she was actually underrated in high school? In the 2020 high school recruiting class, Clark was ranked as the 7th best player in the country. So, let's take a look at the 6 players ranked ahead of her, who they are, what happened to them, and where they are now. Starting with the #1 prospect, Paige Bueckers, known as the original media darling. Paige was considered a generational guard prospect, a child prodigy. She played varsity basketball in 8th grade and quickly gained national attention. In high school, she racked up accolades. Minnesota's Gatorade Player of the Year as a sophomore, the first sophomore in 34 years to win Metro Player of the Year, and a state champion as a junior, leading her team to a perfect 32-0 record. That season, she averaged 24.4 points, 5.1 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and an incredible 4.6 steals per game, making her one of the 3 finalists for National Player of the Year. By her senior year, the hype was undeniable. She became the first female high school basketball player to appear on the cover of Slam magazine and swept nearly every major award, including Gatorade Player of the Year, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, and Minnesota Miss Basketball. She finished her high school career as her school's all-time leader in points, assists, and steals. With scholarship offers pouring in by age 14, Paige ultimately turned down South Carolina, Duke, and UCLA to attend UConn, the gold standard. In women's college basketball under legendary 11-time NCAA champion coach Gino Auriemma, she became the 11th No.1 recruit to commit to UConn and their most highly anticipated players since Breanna Stewart. Paige lived up to the hype immediately, averaging 20 points, 4.9 rebounds, 5.8 assists, and 2.3 steals per game as a freshman, while shooting an impressive 52% from the field and 46% from beyond the arc. Her dominant debut culminated in her being named National College Player of the Year. Paige Bueckers made history as the first freshman ever to win National College Player of the Year. But her fairy tale season didn't get the perfect ending. In the Final Four of March Madness, UConn was unexpectedly upset by Arizona, cutting short what could have been the greatest freshman season in NCAA history. As a sophomore, Bueckers battled injuries and was limited to just 17 games, though she returned in time for March Madness, helping UConn reach the Final Four once again, only to fall in the championship to Aaliyah Boston and South Carolina. Then came a major setback. During a summer pickup game, Paige tore her ACL, forcing her to redshirt the entire 2022-23 season. During that time, the Caitlin Clark phenomenon took over, and Bueckers had to watch from the sidelines as the Iowa guard captivated the nation. But in the 2023-24 season, Paige made a triumphant return, averaging 21.9 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 2.2 steals per game. She led UConn back to the Final Four with a dominant 28-point, 10-rebound, 6-assist performance against USC and rising star Juju Watkins, setting up a highly anticipated showdown with Caitlin Clark in Iowa. Although Bueckers scored 17 points, it was Clark who once again stole the spotlight and led Iowa to victory in a controversial game that knocked UConn out of the tournament. At the end of the season, many of the top players from Bueckers' class declared for the WNBA draft. But with a redshirt year and unfinished business, Paige chose to return to UConn for one final shot at a national title. The pressure is now immense. She doesn't want to be the only UConn legend who never wins a championship. The 2024-25 season will be her last chance before she's likely selected as the #1 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft. And while Caitlin Clark may have taken the spotlight for now, Paige Bueckers still has the potential to become one of the all-time greats in women's basketball. As for her rivalry with Clark, it's far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. During the holidays, you can choose from over 35 weekly packed never frozen meals with Factor, always fresh and designed to support a healthy lifestyle. They cater to your meal preferences, are delivered right to your door, and are ready to heat in just 2 minutes. Personally, my favorite is the Protein Plus meals, which offer over 30 grams of protein per serving, perfect for anyone focused on fitness. I've been enjoying the chicken, which tastes amazing and fits perfectly into my busy schedule as a content creator. The best part, it takes only 2 minutes to prepare. So if you want to get started, head to factor75.com or click the link in the description and use code 50DKM to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Factor box. Huge thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video. Now, back to the story. While Caitlin Clark may be the face of women's college basketball today, Hailey Van Lith was once ranked even higher. Paige Bueckers may have been the top-ranked guard in her class, but Van Lith was the #2 overall player in the nation. Growing up in Washington and starring at Kashmere High School, Hailey was arguably the best scorer in the country. As a freshman, she led her team to a 26-1 record, with their only loss coming in the state championship. Her sophomore year was historic. She posted the first quadruple-double in school history with 37 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 14 steals. That season, she averaged 32 points, 8.3 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 7.3 steals, leading her team back to the title game only to lose again. Her junior year brought a career-high 34.4 points per game, a Gatorade Player of the Year award, and yet another runner-up finish. Van Lith was finally set to win it all her senior year, but the pandemic canceled the season, making her one of the best high school players to never win a state title. Still, she graduated as Washington's all-time leading scorer, was named Miss Basketball, and became a top 5 national recruit. She had also developed a strong relationship with Kobe Bryant, training at the Mamba Sports Academy and serving as a role model for Gianna Bryant. Carrying that Mamba mentality into college, Van Lith made an immediate impact at Louisville, earning a CC All-Freshman Team honors, winning the ACC regular season title, and helping her team reach the Elite Eight. As a sophomore, she led Louisville to the Final Four. Losing to Stanford, her junior season was a breakout year, averaging 19.7 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 1.5 steals. In the NCAA tournament, she stepped up even further, scoring 20 points in 4 straight games and leading Louisville to another Elite Eight, where she faced Caitlin Clark and Iowa. Despite Van Lith dropping 27 points, it wasn't enough to stop the eventual national runners-up. Shockingly, despite being on pace to become Louisville's all-time leading scorer, Van Lith entered the transfer portal and joined the reigning national champions LSU, creating super team hype. However, the move proved disastrous. She struggled to find her rhythm, was benched multiple times, and posted her worst stats since her freshman year, ultimately putting her WNBA draft stock in jeopardy. Once projected as a lottery pick, her senior season became a disappointing chapter in what was once a blazing career. Hailey Van Lith hit the lowest point of her career on one of the sport's biggest stages, the Elite Eight matchup against Iowa, while Caitlin Clark exploded for 41 points. Van Lith managed just 9 points on 2 of 10 shooting, a performance many considered a career low. But her tough stretch didn't end there. Selected to represent Team USA in the 3v3 basketball tournament at the Paris Olympics, Van Lith and her teammates were shocked by a loss to Spain, forcing the US to settle for a bronze medal. It's been a rough summer for Hailey, but her story is far from over. She recently transferred to TCU, where she assumed a larger role and refocus on her game. Her goal is to rebuild her reputation, re-establish herself as a lottery pick, and position herself for a strong showing in the 2025 WNBA draft. However, compared to Caitlin Clark, the gap has never felt wider. Next up at No. 3 is Cameron Brink. The No. 2 overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, Brink's basketball journey began in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she was introduced to the game through a camp hosted by her godfather Del Curry, one of the NBA's greatest shooters and the father of Steph Curry. Although she picked up the sport relatively late, Brink quickly proved she was a natural. She won state championships in each of her first 2 years of high school and earned Gatorade Player of the Year honors in back-to-back seasons. After transferring to Mountainside High School for her senior year, she dominated, averaging 19.7 points, 13.2 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 2.5 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. A true Swiss Army knife on the court, Brink was also an elite volleyball player, helping her team win its first ever state title in the sport. Though she could have pursued volleyball professionally, she chose basketball and, as a 5-star recruit, had her pick of top programs. Her final 2 options were to stay home and play in Oregon or join UConn alongside Paige Butte. While UConn has historically been the destination for top recruits, Brink shocked many by choosing Stanford, largely for academic reasons. The decision paid off. From day one, she stood out, averaging 9.9 points on 58% shooting, along with 6.6 rebounds and 2.8 blocks per game. She led the NCAA in blocks and was named Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. That same season, she guided Stanford to a national championship, the school's first in decades, contributing 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a dramatic 1-point victory over Arizona. Even though she reached the summit as a freshman, Brink was just getting started. She continued her dominance, leading Stanford back to the Final Four as a sophomore, falling to UConn. And in her junior year, she was named National Defensive Player of the Year, firmly establishing herself as one of the premier two-way players in women's college basketball. In her senior year, Cameron Brink played the best basketball of her career, averaging an impressive 17.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 2.8 assists, and a staggering 3.7 blocks per game, becoming her program's all-time leader in blocked shots. That summer, she represented Team USA at the FIBA 3x3 World Cup, where she won a gold medal and was named tournament MVP, leading the competition in both points and blocks. By then, Brink had achieved success at every level, high school, international, and collegiate, and was widely regarded as the top forward in the country heading into the WNBA draft, even ranking ahead of Angel Reese. In any other year, she likely would have been the No. 1 overall pick, but Caitlin Clark's generational rise shifted the spotlight. Still, being selected second overall in one of the most stacked draft classes in WNBA history is no small feat. Drafted by the LA Sparks, Brink started her rookie season strong, with her game translating seamlessly to the pros, averaging 7.5 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game, quickly emerging as a frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, her momentum came to a heartbreaking halt when she suffered a devastating ACL tear, ending her rookie campaign and crushing her hopes of representing Team USA in the Olympics. ACL injuries are among the most challenging for athletes, especially for those who rely on mobility and athleticism. While it's uncertain if she returns next season, at just 22 years old, Brink has time on her side. With recent success, stories like Paige Bucher's showing that elite players can bounce back stronger than ever, there's real hope for Brink's return to form. Her potential remains sky-high. She has all the tools to become one of the WNBA's premier two-way stars, and playing in a major market like Los Angeles gives her the opportunity to achieve a level of commercial superstardom that few women's basketball players have ever reached. At number 4, we have one of Caitlin Clark's biggest rivals, Kamilla Cardoso. It's easy to see why she was dominant in both high school and college. Standing at an imposing 6'8", Cardoso started playing basketball relatively late after moving from Brazil and enrolling at Hamilton Christian Academy in Tennessee. Despite the late start, she quickly adapted to the game, averaging an astonishing 24.1 points, 15.8 rebounds, and 9.2 blocks per game, nearly a triple-double, which is remarkable regardless of her height advantage. Her size and skill made her a can't-miss prospect. Even in high school, she was taller than most WNBA centers. As a 5-star recruit and McDonald's All-American, she drew interest from elite programs like UConn, Ohio State, Mississippi, and South Carolina, but ultimately chose Syracuse, becoming the highest-rated recruit in the program's history. Cardoso made an immediate impact, averaging 13.6 points, 8 rebounds, and 2.6 blocks per game as a freshman, earning both ACC Freshman of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year honors. After one season, she transferred to South Carolina to play under legendary coach Dawn Staley. There, she accepted a reduced role as a backup to Aaliyah Boston, which allowed her to grow by competing alongside one of the nation's best players. The move paid off. Cardoso gained valuable experience and contributed to South Carolina's 2022 NCAA championship run. As a junior, she saw more minutes and continued to improve. By her senior year, with Boston gone, Cardoso stepped into a leadership role and delivered the best season of her collegiate career. South Carolina remained undefeated heading into the Final Four, where they faced Iowa. In that game, Caitlin Clark exploded for 40 points, ending the Gamecocks' perfect season. Many believed that loss marked the end of South Carolina's dominance, but Cardoso proved she was ready to lead, stepping up as the team's new anchor and solidifying her place among the elite players in college basketball. During her collegiate career, Kamilla Cardoso averaged 14.4 points, 9.7 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, and 2 assists per game, while shooting a career-best 60% from the field. South Carolina continued their dominance, going undefeated once again and earning a rematch against the Iowa Hawkeyes in the national championship game. This time, South Carolina was simply too much for Caitlin Clark and her squad, securing a comfortable win. Cardoso played a pivotal role, recording 15 points and 17 rebounds to capture her second national championship and earn the title of Most Outstanding Player of the Final Four. In most years, Cardoso's resume would have easily made her the number 1 overall pick, but in a historically stacked draft class, she fell to number 3, where she was selected by the Chicago Sky. There, she joined fellow lottery pick Angel Reese. While Reese received most of the spotlight, Cardoso quietly delivered a solid rookie season, averaging 9.8 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks per game, earning a spot on the All-Rookie First Team. Although she is still developing and seen as a long-term project, her 6 feet 8 inches frame gives her an unteachable advantage. Once she refines her game and reaches her full potential, she could become one of the most dominant players in the WNBA. Placing limits on her future would be a mistake. Moving on to number 5, we have Sarah Andrews and Hannah Gusters, two players whose basketball journeys have been deeply intertwined. Technically, only one of them, Andrews, was ranked higher than Caitlin Clark in high school, coming in at number 6, while Gusters was ranked just behind her. Andrews, the third-ranked point guard in the nation, grew up in Irving, Texas, idolizing WNBA legend Odyssey Sims, who also played at MacArthur High School and Baylor. Known for her dynamic playmaking and ability to elevate her teammates, Andrews was a highly regarded recruit. Gusters, a powerful post player, was her dominant front-court counterpart in high school, and together, they formed one of the most formidable duos in the country, a textbook big-end guard combination. Their chemistry was so strong that they both committed to Baylor University in 2021, entering college with high expectations. Despite being projected as future top 10 draft picks, the transition to the collegiate level proved more difficult than expected. The transition to college basketball was anything but seamless for Sarah Andrews and Hannah Gusters. As freshmen at Baylor, Andrews started just one of 31 games, averaging 4.2 points, 1.2 rebounds, and 1.2 assists in 11 minutes per game, while Gusters, despite shooting an efficient 64% from the field, didn't start a single game and averaged 5 points and 2 rebounds in just 10 minutes per outing. Their limited minutes were largely due to Baylor's stacked roster, featuring future WNBA stars like Nolissa Smith and DJ Carrington. After those stars turned pro, Andrews and Gusters were expected to step up, but the plan fell short. Gusters grew frustrated with her role and transferred to LSU, separating from Andrews for the first time. Andrews stayed at Baylor, and it proved to be a smart move. As a sophomore, she averaged 11.1 points, 4.5 assists, and 2.9 rebounds in nearly 30 minutes per game. Meanwhile, Gusters discovered the grass wasn't greener at LSU, playing just 15 minutes a night and posting similar stats to her freshman year before redshirting and transferring again to Oklahoma State. During that time, Andrews had her best season, averaging 14.7 points, 4.3 assists, and 3.4 rebounds, becoming a cornerstone for Baylor. Back in the Big 12, Gusters finally broke out, averaging 14.3 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 1 block per game at Oklahoma State, positioning herself for the 2025 WNBA draft if she continues to improve. Andrews, instead of declaring early, returned to Baylor for a 5th postgraduate season to solidify her draft stock and legacy. Their journeys remain intertwined, and if all goes well, they could reunite in the WNBA next year. Their story highlights that high school rankings aren't always predictive. Being a top-ranked recruit doesn't guarantee stardom at the next level. That brings us to number 6, Angel Reese, the second most famous women's basketball player in the world. Raised in Baltimore with basketball in her blood, her mother was a player, and her brother Julian played at Maryland. Reese idolized Maya Moore and Candace Parker and grew up dreaming of the WNBA at St. Francis Academy. She was a varsity star, playing all 5 positions as a freshman and averaging 11 points and 11 rebounds, en route to a 32-1 season and a conference title. Her dominance continued with 17.6 points and 12.1 rebounds as a sophomore and peaked in her junior year, with 22.6 points and 19.3 rebounds, the best numbers of her high school career. She capped it off with a 4th straight conference title. As a senior, graduating with 1,720 points and 1,250 rebounds and having her jersey retired, a 5-star recruit and arguably the top wing in the 2020 class. She had over 24 Division I offers but chose to stay home at Maryland. As a freshman, she averaged 10 points and 6 rebounds in 15.5 minutes per game, helping the team win both Big Ten regular season and tournament titles. She broke out in the NCAA tournament with 19 points against Alabama before a Sweet 16 loss to Texas. As a sophomore, Reese earned Big Ten first team and defensive team honors in what she called her redemption year, leading Maryland to a seed and another Sweet 16 run. Maryland was sent home once again, this time by Cameron Brink and Stanford. During that season, Angel Reese averaged 17.8 points and 10.6 rebounds per game, becoming the first Maryland player to average a double-double since 1975. Seeking a fresh start, Reese entered the transfer portal and joined LSU, hoping to be part of a championship-caliber team, a decision that would prove to be the best of her career. At LSU, she dominated her junior year, establishing herself as one of the top players in college basketball. She consistently delivered elite performances, setting the LSU single-game rebounding record with 28 boards against Texas A&M, recording 20 consecutive double-doubles, and finishing the season with 34, breaking the NCAA single-season double-double record. She averaged a remarkable 23 points, 15.4 rebounds, 1.6 blocks, and 1.8 steals per game. Reese truly made her mark in the NCAA tournament with 24 points and 15 rebounds in the first round against Hawaii, followed by 24 points, 24 rebounds, and 6 blocks against Michigan. She added another double-double in the Elite Eight and broke the SEC single-season rebounding record with 12 boards and 24 points in the Final Four win over Virginia Tech. In the national championship, LSU defeated Iowa in one of the most iconic college basketball games ever, with Reese contributing 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists, securing the title and igniting an infamous rivalry with Caitlin Clark. Reese returned for her senior year, and while her stats weren't as explosive, she still earns SEC Player of the Year and led LSU to another Elite Eight. In a highly anticipated rematch with Iowa, Clark got her revenge, dropping